In this video, we're going to show you how to install the fuel pump on your Nissan Murano located inside the fuel tank. With the hood open, I'm going to go ahead and locate the battery on the driver's side of the engine compartment. Go ahead and clean this up here. We're going to use a little bit of spray solvent. Always wear safety glasses when doing something like this. We're going to use our 10mm socket. You can use a ratchet or a wrench. We're going to use a little power tool here to loosen this. Okay, wiggle this here and slide it off the terminal and set it aside. Before starting this job, you want to go ahead and locate the fuse for the fuel system. Remove that, crank the engine, and depressurize the system. Now, the back of the vehicle, we want to go ahead and access our fuel-related components underneath the back seat. We want to go ahead and locate down on the front section here. It's going to be two plastic caps. It's going to be both on the driver and passenger side. You're going to grab the plastic cap, pull up, and release. Underneath that, you're going to find the hinge components, but we're going to use our socket to go ahead and loosen and remove the bolts on either side. It's 14mm. I want to repeat this process for the driver's side. Now with that unbolted, go ahead and grab that seat. I'm going to lift this up, and we're simply going to secure our seat in the upward position using some securing straps. Now we went ahead and vacuumed up our rug here. I'm going to remove the two bolts here, 14mm. Set those aside. Now on the outer side here, you're going to find a little pull strap. This is a release for our seats. Little section of carpet here. Pull this carpet out. Use our 14mm, break that free. I'm going to switch over to my power tool and zip that right out. Just going to lower our seats down. Do that on both sides. Now inside the rear hatch area, we need to go ahead and drop down the back rest of the back seats. How to do that? Reach right over here on the side, grab the handle, pull it out, drop it down. We're going to repeat this process for the driver's side. With the seat back down, grab this flap, lift it up, and your hardware to remove the seats are down inside this crevice here, as well as the driver's side. Now inside the crevice here, we're going to locate some 14mm bolts. There's one right here inside this bracket, and there's one over here on the other side. I'm going to break these free with our ratchet first. Switch over to our power tool and zip those out. Now once you remove these here, there are cables, they're release cables attached to the seat right here. I'm going to pull this out, and then we're going to pull it out of the seat. Just slide that cable out, just like that. We're going to repeat this process for the driver's side. At this point here, we're going to lift our seats back up. Now lift up on our seats. And it's going to remove those from the vehicle. Take this seat. We're going to slide it back because our seat belt goes through it. That'll save us from having to unbolt our seat belt strap and give us access to our fuel tank. Exposing the cover here, you can use a Phillips head screwdriver and rotate the lock tabs. I'm going to rotate these clockwise. Pull up on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this rubber grommet, roll it through, going to allow a little bit of flexibility here, and that's going to expose the electrical connector right here. I'm going to press down on this little tab, disconnecting the harness. And then just pull the cover aside. If you want to, you can go ahead and feed that rubber grommet through and then just move that. Now we did go ahead and gather up our catch can here, getting prepared for our pump. And use our Phillips head screwdriver, rotate our tabs here. There's 4 of them. You're going to rotate them clockwise. Go ahead and pop this up. Now what I like to do is simply push this grommet through, roll the edges, pop it off. That's going to give us some access to the connector underneath here. Now that we have this out of the way, you want to press down on this little tab right here. I'm going to press down, and then we want to slide that connector off, like so. Now what I like to do is make things easier and more room for me. Pop that out, and just remove that whole plate, set it aside. Tuck that harness off. Now right here is the fuel line. We're going to pinch in on these tabs here. You can use a pair of hose pliers to gently pinch on this here, and we're going to slide this off. But 2 things you want to pay attention to. Check for dirt and debris around here. You don't want to have sand and things falling down inside the tank before doing this job. And 2, in case there's any more fuel pressure in here, you want to go ahead and hold a rag over it when you do it to keep any spray at bay, and then have a rag there for extra fuel that when it dribbles out, just to capture that. I'm going to use my hose pliers, pinch this. All right, it starts to slide off. Wearing safety glasses and gloves. Minimize your exposure to the fuel. Make sure you're working in a well-ventilated area. You'll see some of the gas running out here. That's typical, it's to be expected. Now we're going to use a brass punch. Do not use a steel punch. We have fuel vapors and fuel here. Do not use a steel punch. Around the perimeter, there's going to be tabs. We want to go ahead and rotate this lock ring counterclockwise. Now when this lock ring comes loose, this may spring up. It is spring loaded, so just be aware of that. Now you may need to swap this locking collar over as well. So you can use a little pocket screwdriver, release these tabs, or sometimes you can just open this up a little bit. You can use a pocket screwdriver, just gently pry those out. Slide that off. Now there is fuel inside here as you slowly start to lift this up and out. There is a float on this side here, so you want to be careful. Bring it off to the side, let the fuel dribble out as much as you can. There's a fuel line on the other side we're going to have to disconnect, but we need to get that float out without damaging anything there. There it is. There's pinch tabs on this here. It's one on each side of the block. You're going to pinch that, twist it off like so. There's a little rubber O-ring inside here that seals that. Take your module and set it inside the tank there. While you're here, remove that O-ring. And we're going to take your fuel pump module, and we need to go ahead and put the float into it first and then connect our fuel line. Push that together. You're going to hear and feel it engage. Okay, go ahead and lower this down. Don't forget to install your O-ring. Make sure that fits inside the groove all the way around. Lower this down in a position. Grab your lock ring. Use your hammer and brass punch to lock this in again. There it is. Install the locking tab on here. Grab your fuel line. You do want to make sure that the little windows on the side of the fuel line line up with the locking tab. Push it on. You're going to hear it and feel it lock. Just give it a little tug. Make sure it doesn't come off. Grab the lid. Make sure that the arrow is facing forward. Get that connector lined up, push it on. You can hear it and feel it engage. Install the rubber grommet. Make sure that's seated properly. Press this down. Go. Good. Bring our seat forward. Make sure your seat belt is routed properly. Pull our seat belt up through the back side. There's our seatbelt there. All right, so make sure your seatbelt components are pulled up. Fold this back down. Let's go ahead and get the other seat in. We do want to make sure we can grab our seat belts. And actually that'll be just fine because we'll flip up the seat bottoms later on to get those pulled through. All right, let's go ahead and get our bolts installed along the back side. Go ahead and install the hardware. And go ahead and snug that down. And we also have our cable end right here. Need to get that base with that notch on the side there that needs to get pressed into that base here, snap that in, go ahead and grab that cable end, loop that through, like so. Let's go ahead and repeat this process for the driver's side. Go ahead and flip up our seats. With the seat flipped up, we're going to install our bolt into the bracket. Go ahead and tighten that down. Now the back section here, go ahead and get that bolt started here. All right, let's go ahead and tighten that down. Tuck our carpet back in. Let's go ahead and repeat this process for the driver's side. Now as we lower our seat down, don't forget we have to get our seat belts to poke through. There's a little strap up in between here. So we'll bring this down, push these up, and then lower the seat down. Let's put that strap around those seat belt receivers here. There we go. Down on the front section, let's go ahead and get our brackets installed. Now once we have those bolts started, let's go ahead and tighten them down. And install the cover. So we're going to push those on. There we go. So when installing these, you make sure that the curved part faces up. And there's these little squares here. And they line up with the notches on the bracket. So when you push this in, it's going to start high, push the top in, it'll line up and then push down, and it snaps into place. Don't pound on them to lock them into place. Let's go ahead and repeat for the other side. Make sure to reconnect the fuel pump fuse and connect the battery. Go ahead and grab that negative terminal, twist that on there as far as it'll go, and let's go ahead and snug that down. You can feel it snug down a little bit. And we'll go just a little bit more. Give that a wiggle. You can see that that is still loose here, so we're going to continue to tighten that down a little bit. Give that a wiggle. All right, we're solid now. At this point here, you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.